Welcome back to another episode of Down in the 216, hosted by your boy Will here, man. How y'all doing? How y'all feeling today? Coming back at y'all with another interesting video. So, just a little pre-draft update going into, this 2025-2026 season for the Cleveland Browns. As you guys know, we host the second pick in the draft. Now with that, nobody knows what's going to happen. We've sat here and the pencil has went from Abdul Carter to Shador Sanders to Cam Ward being traded up for. And now we're looking. Even some people suggested Mason Graham, which I flat out laughed at. Don't kill me if this ages poorly, but you got some superstar talented players there at the top five draft. The one positive thing I will take away from everything here is if the Browns did pick a year to be shitty, it was at least this year. We got some really good generational talents coming out of this draft. I think. I think this is going to be one of the better drafts as far as top five wise go. It's going to be some Hall of Famers that come out of this draft. I know that's probably a little aggressive to assume that already, but it's just some Hall of Fame level college talent. You got, let's see here, Sean Genty, completely forgot about. He was one of, if not a top five running back in college all time. Travis Hunter. This is a guy that we thought wasn't going to be able to play both sides of the field in college, and he did it the entire time. Not only did he do that, I think he had a game with like 3 picks and 3 touchdowns. Like the guy is crazy. So, if they're not going to draft a quarterback here, that is the one argument that I will make against drafting a quarterback. For one, it's not really a generational talent there. That's an obvious slam dunk home run. Yes, Shador Sanders or Shador Sanders or Cam Ward might turn out to be somebody great, but it's not real. Well, Cam Ward, I feel like he's more on another level, and I think everybody's saying that. But it might come down to the fact that Shador Sanders ends up being the second best or the better quarterback here. But that usually kind of happens with the draft for whatever reason. The second quarterback is always usually to end up being a better one. We still gotta give Caleb Williams maybe 2 more seasons to flight, but it looks like he can't touch Jaden Daniels. What else? What I was gonna say here. So Ezra Berry was talking about Travis Hunter, and to get into the actual purpose of this video, I think if we don't go quarterback, we gotta at least go skill player on the offensive side of the ball. And with people thinking Travis Hunter is a better corner than receiver, you got Andrew Berry already coming out saying he is a wide receiver. He views him as a primary wide receiver. You got this guy on the football. He can still help you out on defense at a top five corner level. I would draft him if I'm not taking Cam Ward or Shador Sanders. The number third pick, the number third person is really the best player in this draft, and it's Travis Hunter. So we're gonna go into this video. Andrew Berry put an interesting quote. I'm gonna play it real quick for you guys.
I was talking to some of this. I was actually talking to Kevin about this earlier in the week. That I think one of the more misguided comparisons is when people talk about Travis relative to, and this is with all due respect because these guys are Hall of Famers, to Charles Woodson and Champ Bailey, right? They say like, hey, Charles Woodson, first predominant defensive player to win the Heisman, but he was really a two-way player. Champ was a two-way player. And I think what people don't realize is, so Charles Woodson in his college career, I realize it was a different era, but he had almost as many college receptions in his 3-year career as he did interceptions. He had 21 catches in college, and 16 passes. Champ Bailey had 59 catches in his 3-year career and under 1,000 yards, and I think 8 picks. Travis in the past 2 years, Travis, 5th in the nation in receiving, led the Big 12 with 96 catches, 15 touchdowns, 7 career picks, truly was a full-time player on both sides of the ball. And that's where he's I think there's maybe a little bit lost historically in terms of how rare of what he accomplished at Colorado. Yeah, it's like he didn't moonlight on the offensive side of the ball. In fact, if you think about it, this year alone, he had more, I want to say he had more catches, yards, and touchdowns than both Charles and Champ did combined in their 3 years. And so I think that maybe paints like how incredible of a season and really 2 seasons that Travis has had, and that's why I see it a little bit differently than those guys.
Now getting back into it, Andrew Berry was very excited in that video. I think I found it very interesting hearing him talk about him. He's mentioned up and brought him up a couple times here. Um, Interesting thing to bring up. Jimmy Haslam also came out and admitted to being the person that was at fault for the Deshaun Watson trade. So I wonder if it really was Jimmy. I don't think he maybe probably would have admitted it if it wasn't his fault. But everybody else still did evaluate Deshaun Watson and assumed that it was going to be a good fit. And I think everybody deserves an equal amount of blame. I don't think it all falls on Jimmy. But nevertheless, it is kind of sounding like they're trying to let them know that, hey, we're not drafting a quarterback. And I'm starting to lean towards that they might not be drafting a quarterback. And if they not, I really hope that they take Travis Hunter. I'm going to be very happy with either Travis Hunter, Cam Ward, or Dua Carter, or Shador Sanders, honestly, at number two. But Travis Hunter, I think he's the number one rated player in this draft. And I think he is the best player in this draft. Getting a guy that can essentially carry your offense, um, I think he can be a top 5 receiver in this league. This video is sponsored by Detrimental Figures, my brand here. As y'all see, some of the quality of my recent work. You get a signature tag on it as well. We make and really emphasize quality over quantity. So, we try to take and make sure we use the best materials to come up with our shirts and the best designs. Make sure y'all following us on Instagram, Detrimental Figures. So y'all can also get the description down below and hit the link for a shirt. Everything I drop is limited edition. So unfortunately, this shirt is sold out. I don't have any more, but I have different things coming up similar to it. So keep in mind, and I'll keep you guys updated with some of my new stuff throughout these videos coming up. Getting that on the Browns with Jerry Jeudy, Cedric Tillman, and Jamari Thrash. Maybe bringing back Elijah Moore. You can end up in maybe a year having the best wide receiver room in the NFL. I know that sounds a little crazy, but Cedric Tillman has all the capabilities of being far better than what Elijah Moore provided to this team. You can have a juiced up Tyler Boyd with what am I thinking of? Travis Hunter as Jamar Chase and Jerry Jeudy as T Higgins. So I think it can be very interesting. Now, of course, that's very biased of me to say that, but I do think nonetheless Travis Hunter could be a top 5 corner and a top 5 receiver. I do think he's going to end up being a Hall of Fame player regardless of whatever team he goes to. So if it's a high chance of that happening, you might as well just take the guy. And now you got the ability to be very, very nasty on defense. You can, throw Travis Hunter out there, Mario Emerson, and he got the ability with the Browns to be able to play wide receiver primary and not have to worry about playing corner because he still might be the second best corner on the team, but you got Greg Newsome and Mario Emerson out there. So you got guys that can guard. You could run a 4 DB set out there with Travis Hunter, Greg, and Denzel, and let Denzel follow and run different sets to really confuse and throw off defenses. I think it's going to be very, very interesting for this Cleveland Browns team. And like I said, I'm full on board with them driving Travis Hunter. You guys comment down below how you guys feel about it. If they was to drive Travis Hunter, do you think he's more of a receiver or more of a corner? Or do you think he'd be most, suited on the side of football for the Cleveland Browns? Appreciate y'all if y'all made it through this video. I recently just lost my voice, if y'all can't tell. So, don't mind me. But I'm out. Peace.